Welcome to the Swap Meet XLT Part 6. Alright, it's been a while since I worked on this. The videos don't necessarily come out in the order that they were filmed. Kind of did some work on Dennis's sled last weekend and ignored this thing, so I better take a quick look and refresh my memory. Alright, skid is not bolted in, chain case is empty, assorted belts and things in the belly pan. So it looks like the next thing I need to do is get the skid bolted in, get the chain case back together. I got to remember to do those set screws on the bearings on the jack shaft and drive shaft on the clutch side. After that, I suppose I ought to take a look at the motor, do the crank seals, clean the carbs, all that good stuff. So that's where I'm at. I'm just going to get after it. All right, that much messing around and I got the first of the 4 skid bolts in. Usually the first is the worst. All right, bolt number 2 happened so fast I could almost show you in real time, but I'm sure I did somewhat of a fast forward there. Okay, so this happens all the time. I gotta pull the rear scissor forward. Probably noticed I'm using ratchet straps. Why struggle? Ratchet straps are great. Hook them on, pull, get things in alignment. It's a good thing. All right, sometimes you gotta go around the springs on the back. Obviously the ratchet hook is way too small, so I just use these motorcycle soft ties. Run them around the spring, hook the ratchet into that. And sometimes your ratchet's just junk. This piece of crap is going in the garbage can. I'll save the cord though. All right, skid is in. All right, I just put my reverse chain case together. It went great. There it is. Just give you a quick look. I just showed you how to do this on the Indy 600 videos. So I'll put a card up in the corner in case you need to go back and have a look at that. But ready for the gasket and the cover to go on. All right, I got the cover on this thing. Just wanted to show you how sweet this previous owner cooling modification worked out. That's flipping awesome. Well, it does look like it's a little close to the pipe down there. Maybe we'll put a little thermal wrap on them. But it sure made it easy to get that reverse chain case cover in. And plenty of clearance for the lever here. I don't know. I think everything's looking good on this. Hey, Details and I were just looking under the hood here. I just wanted to show you, I just tucked these cooling hoses down and look at how well they clear. So apparently that's all I needed to do to clear the exhaust with those. Painted the hood screens before I head in for the night. Quick tip on the reverse chain case for you. So I think most people that have messed with these know there's 2 very short little 1/4 bolts that go on here to hold on the bracket. And let's face it, if I'm going to lose some bolts, it's going to be those. And they're shorter than you can get at the hardware store. So you're going to have to cut them off. So here's what I do. So this is just a longer 1/4, and I cut it off and make a stud. Well, 2 studs. And then I keep this piece around. This is great for shoving in an oil line or on an oil bottle or anything else you need to plug up that's a 1/4-inch line, just shove that end of that old bolt in there. And then, of course, I red Loctite them into place. And I don't know. I've been finding that making a couple little studs there is just a lot easier to deal with than those little tiny bolts. All right, here's the finished installation on the reverse chain case. So you can see the studs. Don't forget this bolt. You've got the dipstick in there. Got the shifter together. Let's give her a little test. Yep, she shifts. So life's good there. I think it's going to work great. Draining out the old fuel. Surprisingly, it doesn't look as bad as it smells. So you can see with the clear hose there, it's just a little bit yellow. Smells pretty awful though. I'm not going to burn it. Well, I'm going to burn it, but I'm not going to burn it in the sled. Well, I figure while the fuel's draining is as good a time as any to do a preliminary track tension. So this sled did originally come with the 133.5, and as you can see, I got some room to adjust it. These clips are rusty. Well, these slides are also, I don't know, they're pretty far gone, but there's enough there to run it around on those old slides till the clips shine up, and I'll get some new ones. I wonder if there's purple in stock anywhere. So if you remember back to the skid rebuild, these adjuster blocks were pure garbage and I had to replace them. I had to cut the little push-on clips, the little retainer clips off. So I bought some. So here's what they are. It's 7080394 for the exact Polaris one. I imagine you could find something that'll work on Amazon. It looks like it's just a 1/2-inch diameter clip. So just going to push it on with a 1/2-inch socket. Call it good. All right, well, you know, whenever I have a sled down this far, I change the pickup hose in the tank. Already taking it loose, and let's see what we got going on there. Look at that. That is far from the worst I've seen, but they got some kind of a big clunky pickup or a big clamp or something because it ain't coming out. So I guess I'll have to go in through the gas cap to get that out. Well, I know somebody's going to ask me, well, how the heck did you get that thing out of the gas tank? Well, got the old flashlight here, of course, which I had stuck in like so, shining right at it. And I got the old gripper picker-upper, and I got it as close to the top as I can. But there's no way that gripper is going to pull that through that hole. But I know what will. Let's see if I can do this without dropping it again. Alright, I'm going to need both hands. Take the gripper off. Alright, sorry for setting you down, but just nabbed her with the vice grip. It's a big old weighted screen. It doesn't look, oh, it does look pretty bad. I don't think that's going back in. A little bit of a close-up on this pickup. You can see that, like, I'm not sure if that's a buildup of junk or the outer membrane deteriorated or what the heck. That looks like the actual filter element there. So, appears to be garbage. You see what I see down there? Hopefully that's focused in. That's the pickup I want. I'm going to fish that thing out. Get out my brass magnet. Success on the fishing expedition. As you can see, the brass magnet worked. So that's the kind of pickup I like. I mean, I run a fuel filter external to the tank, but I like to have a little screen in there. So I'm going to make sure this thing's not clogged up, and if it's good to go, it'll be reused. Well, there's a ton of crud in the tank, and I'm never going to bullseye the funnel as I clean it out. But I got this big old drip tray. So I'll just shake the gas onto there and wipe it up, dispose of it properly when I'm done. There's nasty stuff in the bottom of that tank. First round of shaking, I don't know how well this will come out on video, but there's a ton of debris that came out of this thing. I'm going to wipe it up and rinse, repeat. Details got here just in time to enjoy the smell of raunchy old gasoline.
Yeah, wonderful stuff.
But I do have the fuel tank cleaned out.
Yep.
So on to the next stuff on the fuel system. Let me bring you over and show you what I got going. Let's set my beer down. So over here, what I want to show you is these little fittings on the hose. Polaris sells these, and they were on original equipment, and they're like a hose clamp. Hey, the part number for those compression rings, in case you need to get some from your Polaris dealer, it is 708-0402. All right, here's the compression fitting installed, and I made a mark so I could stop when that mark is on top. That'll ensure that the pickup is all the way at the bottom of the tank and not hanging in the air. Here's the other compression fitting. Life is good. Let's put the gas tank back together. All right, huge shout out to Mark Trottier for his support of the channel. So Mark sent us this Team Indy taillight cover and also the awesome XLT hat that I'm wearing. So there's 3 ways to support the channel. Number 1, there's a P.O. box down in the description. You can send stuff to us like Mark did. That's really cool. Number 2, I set up a PayPal. Also, the email for the PayPal is in the description. And number 3, there's the Patreon. So the Patreon guys are the heavy hitters who support us every month, and I really appreciate that. So hopefully you can do one of those, but if not, just hit subscribe. We really need you to hit subscribe. We know a lot of people are watching these videos that haven't subscribed yet, and that's the number 1 thing you can do that helps grow the channel. So thanks for watching. All right, this seems like a great place to close out part 6. When we come back to part 7, I'm going to start working on the engine. I'm going to do the crank seals because why would I not? That's just crazy to not change your crank seals. I mean, motor's already out. You know, they're not expensive. Why take the risk? And then I'm also going to clean the carbs, and we're going to really start getting this thing back together, try to make it run. That'll be part 7. I don't know if the test ride will be at the end of part 7 or if it'll be in part 8 or what. But there we go. So we'll see you on the trails. Thanks again to the patrons, and catch you next time.